So one of the worst changes to happen to Pokemon Go has happened recently for a large subset of players. For people who use Samsung devices to play Pokemon Go, they may have noticed that their navigation bar no longer appears in the game. This means it's going to be nearly impossible for you to actually do anything related to the navigation bar, such as the quick catch method. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about this change in particular and how it has affected me personally and what I did to circumvent it. Alright, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well and let's get right into it. So recently for Pokemon Go players who play on Samsung devices such as myself, they may have noticed that there is something new with Pokemon Go. Specifically, there is now something called immersion mode, which basically has the game on your entire phone screen. And to a degree, this is something that is kind of long overdue, mainly because with every other phone game, they typically have some sort of immersion mode where you're not going to see the navigation bar as you play. So Pokemon Go is kind of following suit. But unfortunately, a lot of players have actually utilized the navigation bar specifically for their gameplay, so removing it has actually caused a huge damper, and specifically around one thing, and that is of course the quick catch method. Now, I'm going to be showing you exactly what the issue is. If you look at this right here, there are two Pokemon on screen. I'm going to click on this Psyduck. Is it shiny? No, it's not. But let's say I want to quick catch. And typically what I would do is I would hold down the Pokeball menu, like you can see right there. I would hold it down, I would throw the ball, and then I would let go. And then typically here is where I would hit the back button on the navigation bar. But instead, there is no navigation bar. So I kind of have to just sit here and wait for the entire animation to finish. Now, if I were to click on the Celio, there is one workaround that a lot of players have pointed out, is that, simply put, you could do this, the quick catch method, and then immediately hit the running away button at the top corner. And of course it did not quick catch because Celio does have a much lower catch rate, but you can see right here, I throw the ball like usual, and then right here in the top corner, I hit that runaway button. And yeah, there you go, it was quick caught. So that is, of course, one simple workaround that you could still basically quick catch. It's just going to be a matter of you clicking that running away button. But for a lot of players, that might seem just a little bit much. That they would just rather have the navigation button, which is right here. You can see right here on the bottom, there is the navigation bar. And that is the thing that is currently missing. So there are two simple options that you could utilize. Actually, yeah, let me talk about this real quick. Let's say that you still want to use the navigation bar. If you click on the bottom of the screen, you can see right there, it'll show up when you swipe up. But of course, if you're in the catch screen, if you swipe up like that, you're going to throw a Pokeball. And you can see I essentially wasted a Pokeball right there. This is very problematic, but like I said, there are two workarounds aside from the one that I just showed. People have stated that what you could do is actually play the game in pop-up mode, which, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so I see, you can see I can't even find it, but essentially there is a pop-up mode where it actually plays Pokemon Go in a Windows mode, which I don't even think is something that a lot of players would actually enjoy to begin with, because it would just kind of make the game feel a little less immersive, I guess. But there is one other thing you could do. There is actually one other thing you can do. So I'm gonna actually go here, and you could see, you could actually download a navigation app. It's gonna be an app that's going to be a replacement for your navigation bar. So I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna download right now a navigation bar app so I can show you. And then yeah, essentially what you can see right here, it adds a custom navigation bar to your screen. Of course, it's going to be overlaid on top of the game, so you're going to actually see a lot of bottom assets kind of get cut off. So this is not necessarily the best option, but again, this is a way for you to have that back button once again. So yeah, those are essentially the workarounds that players have found regarding this particular immersion mode that they added to Samsung devices, but I think overall the problem is that players are just simply used to playing the game with a navigation bar by this point. If they were to have added something like this immersion mode, they should have done it a long time ago. And because they did not do that, it feels very jarring at this point, because imagine if this was something that was in the game much earlier on when players were still getting used to things like the quick catch method. Players would have essentially learned to play around it. But at this point, it just feels like it's way too late to add something like this, and it's just actually a lot more immersion breaking. So one thing I think Niantic should do is that maybe in a future update, they should actually add something within the game's menu where you could actually turn off immersion mode. I think that is something that the game could definitely use. Like, if you do not like having the navigation bar hidden, then you should have the option to actually have it on like before. But maybe some players will actually like this version of Pokemon Go where they do not see the navigation bar. Then they can just have it turned on and they can play the game with the immersion mode on. And I just think they need to give more options. That's always something that I've been advocating for when it comes to Pokemon Go, that Niantic continues to give players player options rather than just adding things to the game and just forcing everyone to now deal with it. I really do not like that. I think when it comes to gameplay stuff, when it comes to gameplay mechanics, sure, maybe they could just add things into the game and just say this is how it's going to be. But when it comes to different things like this, where it's more UI and when it's more stuff like, I guess, quality of life, what they should do is give players the options to turn these things on and off. And I think that's going to create a much more positive experience. But that's just my own personal opinion on this. Of course, when it comes to this immersion mode, it's not going to apply to everyone. I know a lot of people play on Apple devices, and essentially, for them, there always has been an immersion mode. But for people who play on Samsung devices specifically, like myself, yeah, this is incredibly jarring, and it's something that just does not feel good. And that's just personally my opinion on it. So yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding all of this down below. Do you feel like this is something that Niantic should not have implemented? Or do you feel like, hey, it's not a big deal, it's something that is not necessarily going to affect everyone? Just definitely share your thoughts, and yeah, let's have a great discussion on it. And if you found another workaround that actually works out really well than the things that I listed, then definitely share that as well. I would like to hear it, for sure. I would definitely like to hear it. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. If you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids and the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen right now. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today. Make sure you look at the mirror and say that you're awesome, because I think you're awesome. And I'll catch you all later.